Introduction. Have you ever caught yourself stuck in a spiral of negative thoughts? Maybe it's late at night and your mind replays every mistake you've made. Or perhaps you're overwhelmed by something that hasn't even happened yet, something completely out of your control. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not helpless. In a world that constantly bombards us with stress, fear, and uncertainty, mastering your inner world has never been more important. But how do you do that when your own mind becomes the battlefield? The answer might surprise you. It lies in a philosophy that's over 2,000 years old, Stoicism. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions or pretending everything is fine. It's about understanding your thoughts, facing them with courage, and using ancient wisdom to build mental resilience. It's been practiced by emperors, warriors, and everyday people looking for peace in the middle of chaos. This video is your guide to overcoming negative thoughts through 7 powerful Stoic lessons. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're practical tools you can use daily to feel more grounded, focused, and in control of your emotions. Whether you're dealing with anxiety, overthinking, or just the weight of life itself, these Stoic principles can help you shift your mindset and take back your mental space. So if you're ready to stop being at the mercy of your negative thoughts and start thinking like a Stoic, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll have a mental toolkit to help you stay calm, clear, and confident, no matter what life throws your way. 1. You control how you respond. One of the most foundational teachings in Stoicism, and one of the most liberating, is the idea that you may not control what happens to you, but you always control how you respond to it. Let that sink in for a second. Life will throw unexpected challenges your way. People might hurt you, situations may not go as planned, and failure will knock on your door from time to time. But according to Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Think about that. The event is neutral, it's our interpretation that gives it weight. Let's say someone criticizes you harshly. Your first reaction might be anger or shame. But Stoicism teaches us to pause, reflect, and realize that criticism doesn't define you. Your reaction does. There's real power in that pause. When you stop reacting impulsively and start responding thoughtfully, you begin to take control of your inner world. You shift from being a victim of emotion to a master of your mindset. This doesn't mean you ignore your feelings or suppress them. Quite the opposite. Stoicism encourages awareness, acknowledging your emotions without letting them dictate your behavior. It's emotional discipline, not emotional denial. So how do you apply this? Start small. The next time someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of yelling or stewing in frustration, take a breath and remind yourself, I control how I respond. When something goes wrong at work, don't panic. Pause. Ask, what would a wise person do right now? That simple act of shifting your perspective can change the entire outcome. In the end, you can't control the weather, the stock market, or other people's behavior, but you can control your attitude, your words, and your actions. And that's more than enough. 2. Focus only on what you can control. One of the biggest causes of anxiety, overthinking, and mental exhaustion is spending time and energy on things we can't control. But Stoicism flips the script. It teaches us to put all our focus on what is within our control and to let go of the rest. Epictetus said it best, some things are up to us and some things are not. Seems simple, right? But how often do we obsess over what others think of us, worry about outcomes we can't predict, or stress over the past we can't change? We waste mental energy on weather, traffic, how people behave, whether we'll be liked or whether we'll succeed. None of that is in our hands. So what is in our control? Your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, your effort, your values. That's your zone of power. Imagine life as a target with 2 circles. The outer circle contains things you cannot control, other people's opinions, the economy, politics, the past, the future. The inner circle? That's where your real power lives, your mindset, your response, your habits, and your character. When you focus on the inner circle, you take control of your mental state. When you obsess over the outer circle, you feel helpless and overwhelmed. It's like trying to steer a ship in a storm by yelling at the waves instead of adjusting your sails. Here's how you can start applying this. Let's say you're preparing for a job interview. You can't control the interviewer's mood or the final decision, but you can control how well you prepare, how clearly you speak, how confidently you show up. Focus on that and let the rest unfold. Stoicism doesn't promise control over life. It promises control over yourself in any kind of life. That's the mindset shift. When you train yourself to stop worrying about uncontrollables and pour your energy into what you can influence, you become calmer, clearer, and infinitely more effective. So next time you're feeling overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this within my control? If it's not, let it go. If it is, get to work. 3. Memento mori, remember you will die. At first glance, memento mori, Latin for remember you will die, might sound dark, even morbid, but to the Stoics it was a powerful reminder not of death itself, but of how to live. We often walk through life as if we have unlimited time. We postpone dreams, hold grudges, stress over petty things, and assume we'll always have later. But the Stoics remind us, you won't. Nothing is guaranteed, not tomorrow, not even tonight. And far from being depressing, this realization can actually be one of the most motivating truths you'll ever embrace. Seneca wrote, "You act like mortals in all that you fear and like immortals in all that you desire." In other words, we fear death, but live like we'll never die. We waste time and treat each day casually, even though it's the most precious thing we have. Memento Mori invites you to flip that mindset. Instead of fearing death, use it as a compass. Let it sharpen your focus. That thing you've been meaning to say to someone, say it. That project you keep delaying, start it. That toxic habit you've been tolerating, let it go, because your time is limited, and that's what makes it valuable. This mindset also puts negative thoughts into perspective. You're worried what someone thinks of you? In 100 years, both of you will be dust. You're stressing over a mistake. In the grand scale of your life or history, it barely registers. When you zoom out, the weight of your anxiety lightens. So how do you practice memento mori? You don't need to obsess over death. Just keep it in view. Reflect on it daily, not to be sad, but to be awake. Some Stoics kept reminders on their desks or wore rings engraved with memento mori as a way to stay present. Let it guide you, not scare you, because when you remember you will die, you start to live with more purpose, gratitude, and clarity. And that makes every single moment, not just someday in the future, deeply meaningful. 4. Amor fati. Love your fate. Life doesn't always go according to plan. You fail the exam, you lose the job. Someone breaks your heart. The Stoics had a word for how to deal with all this. Amor fati. Love of fate. Not just accepting what happens, loving it. It's one of the most radical and empowering ideas in Stoicism. While most people resist or resent hardships, Stoics train themselves to embrace them. Not because the pain feels good, but because every challenge is an opportunity to grow, learn, or become stronger. Think of it this way. If life is a book, you don't get to control all the plot twists, but you are the main character. Amor fati means welcoming every page, even the messy ones, as essential to your story. Nietzsche later expanded on this Stoic concept, writing, "My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." That's powerful. Imagine you lost something important, your job, a relationship, a goal. The average person sees it as a setback. A Stoic sees it as fuel. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it." Amor fati is that fire. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine when it's not. It means saying, "This is tough, but it's mine, and I will turn it into something meaningful." Here's how to apply it. Next time something doesn't go your way, stop and say, "Amor fati," then ask, "What can this teach me?" or "How can I use this?" That one shift in mindset can transform resistance into acceptance, and acceptance into power. When you stop fighting fate and start flowing with it, you stop suffering over things you can't control. Instead, you become unbreakable, because you see every difficulty as part of the path, not a detour from it. So the next time life throws you a curveball, don't just endure it, love it. Amor fati. 5. Perception is everything. Imagine two people stuck in the same traffic jam. One is fuming, pounding the steering wheel, convinced the universe is out to get them. The other is calm, listening to music, maybe using the time to reflect or practice gratitude. Same situation, completely different experience. What's the difference? Perception. The Stoics believed that it's not events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. That's not just philosophy, it's a practical mental reframe you can use every single day. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That means you hold the power, not the problem, not the person, not the pressure. You. We often assume our emotions are automatic responses to reality, but in truth, they're shaped by the meaning we assign to things. You don't just react to what happens, you react to what you think it means. Get rejected, you might perceive it as proof you're not good enough or as redirection towards something better. Get criticized, it could crush your ego or sharpen your self-awareness. The event is neutral, your mind gives it shape. And that's where your strength lies. The Stoics didn't try to deny reality, they trained themselves to see it clearly, free of emotional distortion. They practiced objectivity, separating facts from interpretations and choosing the most empowering lens through which to view life. How can you apply this? Next time you're upset, pause and ask, what story am I telling myself right now? Then follow up with, is that the only story? Is there a better one? By changing your perception, you change your reality because you change your experience of it. This mindset doesn't eliminate pain or discomfort, but it gives you the ability to reframe challenges, making you more emotionally agile and mentally resilient. You can't always change your circumstances, but with Stoic perception, you can change how you see them, and that makes all the difference. 6. The obstacle is the way. When life puts a wall in front of you, do you stop? Complain? Turn around? The Stoics would say, keep going, because that wall isn't blocking the path. It is the path. This idea is beautifully summed up by Marcus Aurelius. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That's not just poetic, it's a mindset shift that can transform your relationship with struggle. The Stoics believed obstacles aren't interruptions, they're invitations. Every challenge, setback, or failure you face isn't something to avoid or escape, it's something to use. It's there to teach you something, to strengthen you, to shape you. Think about it. When have you grown the most in your life? It probably wasn't during the easy, comfortable times. It was through difficulty, through breakups, job losses, burnout, or heartbreak. Those were the times you learned, adapted, and became more resilient. That's the Stoic path. Let's say your plans fall apart. Instead of spiraling into frustration, ask, how can I grow from this? Or, what is this trying to teach me? That shift in thinking turns the obstacle into an opportunity. This doesn't mean the Stoics loved pain for the sake of pain. It means they refused to be defeated by it. They saw value in adversity. They trained themselves to face discomfort with courage and clarity, knowing that progress often hides behind pain. And this idea isn't just ancient wisdom, it's a mindset used by elite athletes, military leaders, entrepreneurs, and artists today. Ryan Holiday even wrote a best-selling book about it. The obstacle is the way, based entirely on this Stoic principle. So when things go wrong, don't break, don't freeze, don't curse the timing. Instead, lean in, use it, adapt, grow, because what's standing in your way right now may just be the thing that leads you to your next level. The obstacle is not the enemy. The obstacle is the way. 7. Practice. Present awareness. Negative thoughts love to live in two places, the past and the future. Regret over what's already happened. Anxiety about what might come. But the Stoics had a powerful remedy for both. Be fully present in the moment. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself constantly, confine yourself to the present. Because that's all you truly have. The past is gone, the future is uncertain. But the present, the now, is where your life is actually happening. Sounds simple, but staying present takes practice. Our minds are always racing, replaying yesterday's mistakes or worrying about tomorrow's outcomes. That mental time travel is what feeds stress, fear, and self-doubt. The Stoics trained themselves to return to the moment over and over again. They didn't use apps or mindfulness courses. They used attention, awareness, discipline. Seneca said true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. That's not passivity, it's power. When you're grounded in the present, you think more clearly, respond more wisely, and live more fully. Here's how to start practicing Stoic presence. When your thoughts spiral, ask, what am I doing right now? Bring your focus back to the task at hand. Breathe intentionally. Your breath is always in the now. Use it as an anchor. Limit multitasking. Stoics valued doing one thing with full attention because presence equals peace. Notice nature, your body, your surroundings. Awareness grounds you in reality, not imagination. Stoicism isn't about detaching from life, it's about showing up for it, moment by moment. When you learn to stay present, you stop wasting energy on what you can't change and start using that energy to live with purpose. And here's the secret. Most of the things you're afraid of aren't happening right now. They exist only in your thoughts. The moment you return to the present, they lose their grip. So if you want more clarity, more calm, and more control, don't chase it in the past or future. Be here, right now, fully, because this moment is your life, and it's the only one you can act on. Conclusion. So, there you have it. 7 powerful Stoic lessons that can help you overcome negative thoughts and regain control of your mind. From embracing obstacles to focusing only on what you can control, Stoicism provides timeless tools for facing life's challenges with strength and clarity. The key takeaway? You have the power to choose your response to anything life throws your way. Whether it's the way you perceive events, how you handle adversity, or how you stay present in the moment, Stoicism teaches that your mental state is within your control. You don't need to wait for perfect circumstances to start living peacefully. Instead, you can transform your mindset right now by shifting how you think, how you respond, and how you approach every situation. Remember, it's not the events themselves that cause suffering, but our thoughts about them. By mastering these 7 lessons, you'll begin to experience life as it truly is, free of unnecessary emotional turmoil and full of opportunity for growth. The Stoics didn't promise that life would be easy, but they did promise that by practicing these principles, you'd find inner peace no matter the external circumstances. And isn't that what we all want? A life that's less reactive and more intentional. So next time you find yourself trapped by negative thoughts, take a moment to remind yourself you can control your response. You can love your fate, see the obstacle as the way, and focus on the present. And when you do, you'll find yourself less burdened by worry, more grounded, and infinitely stronger. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.